Welcome to another episode of Galaxy Marine's True Bass. Today we're on Lake Amador with Taylor Parsons. Hi, I'm Phil Clark from Galaxy Marine. We're finally off the Delta doing a show in the Mother Lode, and today we're at Amador Lake. Going to film a show. It's beginning of summer. We're out here with up-and-coming star Taylor Parsons. What are we going to do today, Taylor?
Well, the water's getting pretty warm, so we're going to go out and throw a frog a lot and a wake bait and see if we can get any post-spawn giants. So
You been on fish?
I came out here a couple days ago and caught some good ones, so we're going to see if we can go get them again.
Let's do it. What are we going to be throwing today?
Well, we're going to start off with a wake bait. There's a nice little breeze here on this extending main lake point, and see if we can't get anything going on these. Any big ones?
Let's do it.
I'm throwing this 10-inch 4-section triple trout, and I like it when there's a slight breeze on the water. When there's more of a chuff, I like going to like an AC minnow.
Okay.
9-inch, it moves a little more water, and kind of calls them up a little better, I think. But
what kind of retrieve you use on that?
I just a slow, steady retrieve. These ones, when you see a fish come up after it out there, it's kind of hard with the sun where it's at, but you can twitch these and stuff and kind of try to entice them to eat it. The AC minnow, though, it's kind of, you just got to keep it going the whole way. You don't really have a choice to do anything else.
Yeah.
Basically, all I'm trying to do is, make as long a cast as possible. Keep the line out of the water so there's less stretch, no, the wind doesn't take it in the water and, bow out your line so you have more of a straight, direct contact with the fish when they eat it. And a lot of times I like throwing out to deep water and bringing it in just so it kind of looks like a trout that doesn't know what it's doing and easier to corral against the bank. But I mean, the water is 77 degrees right now, and it's getting a little warm, so if there are any trout on the surface, it's going to be, something's wrong, so they'll know it's going to be an easy meal.
Fish are up shallow.
Yeah. There one the other day, came out, you could see bottom. Look at that one.
Oh. That was about a 5-pounder.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor, that fish came up, followed you all the way to the boat, tried to grab it right basically as you're pulling the lure in.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. You got to kind of control your nerves there. You can swing and, see if you got a hook in them or try to let them eat it, but, there's so little line you have left that it's kind of hit or miss situation right there.
Yeah,
but the good thing about it is it didn't feel a hook, and a lot of times you can come back later in the day when the breeze is right and come back and get them. So, just put that in your memory bank.
A lot of times half the part of throwing these big baits is just locating those fish.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see where they swim out of just to take a look at your bait and come back and catch them later.
Yeah, the main thing is just finding where they live and then try not to waste time the rest of the day and just fish the productive spots. So along in here there's a lot of good frog water too, so if you want to do some frogging.
What kind of frog you like throwing, Taylor?
I switch over all the time. I throw like a lot of Spros and the snack proofs, and just that Bobby's Perfect frog, and I don't like getting too crazy with them. A lot of guys go customize them like crazy, and I just put some black dots on the bottom, put an EWG hook in there, and call it good.
You walk it most of the time?
Yeah, especially in mostly open water like this. I think it makes a big difference. Just kind of keep it walking all the way back to the boat. Well,
this frog isn't walking exactly how I want it to, so I'm trimming the legs down just a touch. And the bait I'm throwing is a River to Sea bullywah. It's a little bit different frog. It's a little bit bigger profile. Walks pretty good.
We want to idle out that way to that bank right there, that second point, and throw some more swim baits.
Sure. That breeze is blowing just right on this bank.
Yeah, it is. There's still some sparse grass and stuff out here, but with this breeze like it is, I'm trying to go back with a wake bait bite real quick. And, I mean, every time you pull in back of these little coves and stuff, there's a lot more matted vegetation, and that's where the frog can be most effective.
Hey Taylor, how important do you think it is when throwing these big baits to have the right equipment?
You know, actually, as far as not getting worn out by them, you know, the right rod makes all the difference, I think. And you know, there's a whole bunch of swim bait rods on the market, and I think everyone makes a good one pretty much now. If I could pick a reel, though, it'd probably be one of those, you know, like a Calcutta 300 or something like that. I don't actually have one on me now, but that's thrown these baits better than any other reel I've ever tried. So
We fished 2 points so far, Taylor, and had 2 blow-ups.
yeah, it's kind of the deal is looking like the same old thing. Just fish a bunch of points and hopefully tie into a few. We'll definitely be coming back to these later in the day because, like I said, usually you can come back and get them at a certain point, you know, especially if they don't feel the hooks. So.
You usually scent your baits, Taylor?
Yeah, especially in a tournament situation. It can't hurt, you know.
Definitely.
So. And I mean, if they're short striking like that, who knows? This could push them over the edge and make them eat it. So.
Gotcha. I see your tail's a little different on that.
Yeah, well, the one that came with it got ripped off, so I just put a Bass Tricks tail on it. And it's actually pretty durable for, I've caught probably 20 fish on this thing with that tail, so
Nice.
it's lasted a long time.
How long have you been bass fishing, Taylor?
Since I was probably 5 years old. I've been fishing my whole life, ever since I can remember, but I think my earliest memory is just going to a local pond and kind of got hooked. The first time I ever tried throwing topwater, you know, they were coming up and blasting poppers, and I was hooked on from there. So
You were one of the guys kind of getting on Pardee before a lot of the other guys, before it got popular, I guess, catching a lot of big fish at Pardee.
yeah, that was a blast. You know, it's been a little bit tougher the last couple of years with the gained popularity of it, but you can still go out there and catch some big fish. And it's like, you know, we wanted to do the show out there, but it's getting a little late and the water's getting real warm and super clear water, so it's pretty tough. And I mean, out here can be pretty fun too. Have a chance at giant fish as well.
Yeah.
So.
You grew up fishing these mother lode lakes?
Yeah, I grew up in Sutter Creek, about 15 minutes away. So, you know, I actually worked at this lake for a while as a boat boy back when I was like 15, 16. So
you spent quite a bit of time on all these lakes?
Yeah, I go, you know, after I got out of school, when I first got my driver's license, go almost 3 or 4 days a week from the bank or whatever, come out here on the weekends and go night fishing.
This lake's pretty neat to fish. You know, what other lake can you come to and, you know, not burn barely any gas, have the chance at a fish of a lifetime anytime you come?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, there's no skiers and stuff out here too, which, you know, I know a lot of bass fishermen don't have too much fun when they're out fishing amongst that. So it's pretty calm and quiet even throughout the whole summer out here. So
great night fishing lake.
Yeah,
too.
night fishing's awesome out here.
Hey, with today's rising fuel costs, it's important to get everything you can out of a gallon of gas. And one of the ways that you can burn a little bit less gas with your boat, whether it's a big 20-foot performance fishing boat like this Triton, or you're fishing out of a 14-foot boat, is lighten the load in that boat. You know, there's probably no reason for me to carry all these swim baits with me, or all the crankbaits and all the tackle that you own. Lighten your load a little bit. If you're not going to be using your anchor, any of the spare stuff you're going to have in the boat, take it out. Your boat will perform better. It'll also burn a lot less gas. Hey, after you lighten your load in your boat, you need to lighten your foot a little bit. There's no reason to run around 5,000, 5,500, 6,000 RPMs everywhere you go. Back off that throttle. Just like your tow vehicle, you're going to burn a little less fuel. Drive a little slower to the lake, Drive a little slower once you get to the lake. You'll save some money, save some gas, and get to go fishing a little more often.
True Bass will be right back.
Fishing as a co-angler is probably the best thing you can do to improve your fishing. You know, fishing from the back of the boat, you get drawn with a pro for, 3 days. This is the Strand or FLW series, and I mean, you learn a lot, and it's basically getting a 3-day guide trip with your chance to win money. So, for the Strands are $325, and it's just a good deal and you learn a lot. So that's and then when you feel confident, then you pay your money and fish from the front of the boat.
All right, Taylor, I'm gonna pull a finesse worm out here. See if we can just catch one, get on the board. Here we go, Taylor. Start us off with a little one.
Yeah. Break the ice, pick up a worm.
Feels good on the spinning gear. Oh, just a little small one, but that's still fun. Got him on a little flick shake worm, little wacky jig head.
Yeah, I guess that's starting to be the new deal when it gets tough, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, little dink.
There we go, number 2.
Another Lake Amador giant.
Now you're ready, Taylor.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's catch some big ones now.
See if we can double that size for a start.
Easy to upgrade when they start out small.
Don't want to spoil yourself too early. There's one. Oh.
Got off?
Yeah.
That's swim bait fishing.
Well, we're getting a few follows here and there on the wake baits and floating triple trout, but the ones that are hitting it aren't really eating it too well. Had one hooked up for a couple seconds and came undone, but that's the way it goes with throwing these big baits. And there's still a good breeze out here, so we're gonna go run and hit some spots. We saw some fish earlier and see if we can't get anything going.
Here we go, Taylor.
Yeah, just threw the frog up in there and boom. I think I don't even know if he's still there. Well, yeah, he is. In a clump of weeds.
A little bit better fish.
A little bit, not quite what we're looking for, but it'll work. Get him out of the slop here. But maybe close to 2 pounds.
Another small one. Real small one. Fish are real lethargic too. Good population of small fish. Started just throwing this jig, just dragging it out there 15, 20 feet. Catching some small bass.
Almost took your head off on that one.
There's a good one, Taylor.
Yeah, a little better.
That's more what we were looking for.
Yeah. That was cool. Nice Lake Amador frogfish. His crawdad antennas coming out of his mouth. See that?
Yep. That fish is eating. Now I know most guys that fish a lot of frogs say black and white. What colors do you like to throw?
Just keep it simple. Mostly black and white, and sometimes the brown too. I mean, definitely when you're on a mat, it doesn't really make a difference. And first thing in the morning when it's pretty dark still, I like to use black, you know, it shows up better against the sky. And then, you know, later on in the day, I usually switch to white.
Now, walking these frogs is a pretty unique thing.
Yeah.
What tips would you give somebody who just picked up a frog stick and a frog? And
you know, a lot of people get frustrated with it because it's kind of, you know, a hard thing to get used to, just because that you're throwing such a stiff rod and, you know, heavy braid. But one key is you have to use braid, and just so there's no stretch, and you got to move your rod tip real quick, and you know, keep a somewhat slack line, and that's the, you know, the key there.
there he is. Well, good fish on a frog. Got a good hook in him. Nice one on the frog.
Super shallow.
Yeah, that fish was way up there next to the wood. That's what we were looking for, Taylor. A little better fish.
Yep.
You know, it's about 1 o'clock, just after 1 o'clock, and we're still catching fish out here. A lot of guys would have already put it on the trailer and went home.
Yeah, you know, actually, from 9 to 11, and that whole time period, I don't really like fishing too much. Afternoon bite's my favorite, and it just usually better, a little more wind picks up in the afternoon, and I don't know if it's the angle the sun's at, but they just seem to bite better.
Sure.
Another frogfish, a little bit better than the ones we were catching worming.
Here we go, Taylor.
Yeah. Just threw across the channel there a little patch of grass and wasn't even paying attention, just heard him eat it.
Sometimes that's the best way.
Yeah.
You know? You turn your head and that's when those big girls bite.
Well, it was a pretty tough bite today. It's kind of typical for summertime and when the water's around 80 degrees. And basically just threw all day, you know, going for broke, throwing a wake bait and the floating triple trout. And I mean, we had our chances at probably 5 fish today and lost them all. Got a couple halfway to the boat, a couple we didn't even hook that blew up on it. I like throwing the triple trout when it's, you know, there's a little bit of a more subtle breeze on the water. You can rip it and make, you know, a nice wake behind it. And I mean, there's a lot of imitations to them out there, but, you know, even for the same price, but you can't really beat it. And just fishes like nothing else, basically. And then we also we caught our better fish today on a frog. And I just throw the basic snag-proof frogs and switch out the hooks and put EWGs in there, and just color on the bottom just to break up the bottom a little bit. And you know, we caught a few decent fish today, but that's the way it goes for summertime. And basically with the triple trouts, there's about 4 different styles or so, and you know, this is like an 8-inch standard floater. That's what I primarily throw all throughout the summertime, and you know, even in early spring if it's a real overcast day and they're feeding on topwater a lot. And then, you know, he also makes a 4-section wake bait, which is also a real good bait. It kicks a little more water, and the tail, that extra tail section, moves around a lot. And then, you know, earlier in the year I like throwing the 10-inch. And this is actually his new hitch color that I like throwing up at Clear Lake and the Delta. And all the tails are interchangeable. And basically the only place in Northern California you can find these baits is at Galaxy Marine in Newcastle. And you can call Phil up there and he'll have them available.
Well, we didn't have the day that we were looking for, but we did catch, you know, some real nice fish, a bunch of small fish. It was basically a summer day out here in Amador. Had a lot of fun catching some small fish on worms. Did lose a couple on wake baits, and then caught a couple decent fish on frogs. It was a real fun day. I'd like to thank Taylor for coming out.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I wish it could have been a little better, but that's the way it goes with summertime. And, you know, you get a little more wind or an overcast day and it can just be on fire. So that's the way it goes.
Thanks for coming out, Taylor.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck next season.
All righty.
That's a little bit more of what we're looking for right there. See you next time on Galaxy Marine's